Hi, Terry here again. This morning I've been thinking about a couple of things and putting them together. I've been thinking about, of all things, a passage from the Hebrew Bible, the book of Ecclesiastes. Way that the passage is translated quite often, there is a time to and a time to. There's a time to build up and a time to tear down, a time to essentially go to war and a time to seek peace. There's a time to, a time to. Have a friend who looked into that passage more closely and retranslated it in a way that I think is probably more accurate and more applicable. He says it better translates to, and I agree, to there is a time when we. There is a time in our life when we build up, and there is a time in our life when we tear down or disseminate or release. There is a time when we war or we battle, and there's a time when we rest or seek peace. So there is a time, there's a season when, and there's a season when. It's a developmental thing. We develop through time. There's a time when we do certain things, and there's another time when we do other things. And I've been putting that together with what I call either or certainty. There is a time when I was very certain of things. Many of you know that my background was teaching in churches. And I ended my career at the Crystal Cathedral, which was a Reformed tradition, had its roots in the Reformed tradition. That would be like Reformed, Christian Reform, Presbyterian, that Reformed side of things. And there was a long season in my teaching where I was certain. I had big volumes in my library of systematic theology defining who God was and who God is and defining what it means to be a true believer. And I had books on creeds, the proper way to believe, and if you didn't go by these creeds that you were in error, because I was so certain of what was right. And I was certainly certain that Christianity was right and Buddhism or Hinduism, Islam, those are wrong. And I know in our creeds there was a time when Protestants were right and Catholics, Romans were wrong. And even getting down into, our little subtleties of difference, that Reformed Church in America was more correct than Christian Reformed or Presbyterian. And I was so certain of things. I was certain that I knew who God was. I was certain about what it meant to be saved and what it meant to be not saved. And there was a time when it served me well, resonated with so many people. But now there's a season when certainties have transformed or shifted or expanded into curiosities. That being sure of things have morphed into question marks. Wondering, curious. Is Reformed the only correct way and other forms of Christianity less correct? Is it us, them? Or even going broader, does Christianity have all the answers and these other religions are just off base? Or can I sit down with people and listen to them? Listen to a whole very different perspective, be it Islam or Hindu or Buddhism, sit at their feet or at least sit around a table and share and convert each other? Or so certain I knew who God was, who God is. I put it past tense because it's a funny thing to be there was a season when, and now's another season, but I was certain who God is. Now I am more certain that God is mystery, that the unknowability of divinity, the unknowableness of this mystery or this all, that the ground of our being, as is put, is more intriguing to me. So there was a time when I was certain of either or. Either this is correct or that is correct. Either they're with us or they're against us. Either it's true or it's false. Either I am this political party or that political party, or there was a season when that was important. Now I am in a season when I'm more intrigued by questions, by mysteries, by not separating people and religions and ways of seeing and values and beliefs. I heard yesterday, what prompted this is somebody talking about true believers, thinking belief. So we're saved by belief, saved by creed, saved by being certain that certain things are true and other things are not, and that's prompted this thinking. But I'm in a season when I wonder, I sit, I listen, I do much less sorting into either one way or the other, truth or error, with us or against us, and wonder, and listen, and basically be quiet and just receive. I wonder what you think. Is that a later stage of development? Is it losing my way? Is it a second half of life, as some call it? First half of life is a season when we are certain, and then a second season of life is when we move beyond that certainty, no longer need it or no longer resonate with it, and live with curiosity. It's not uncertainty. It doesn't feel that way to me anyway. I don't feel like I've lost my certainty, that I'm now uncertain about anything. I don't feel that kind of anxiety. I put the moving beyond from certainty to curiosity, to wonder, to silence, to being, to learning, to sitting with. It's a good place for me. It doesn't necessarily help me resonate with most of the local churches or churches that I might try or attend or listen to or participate in. I don't feel that resonance anymore. That's a sadness. But it's another season. So there was a time when I sought certainty. Now is a time when I rest into curiosity. Think about it. Talk to you next time.